What is up, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Thursday night. Welcome to Utini Designs. I'm Justin, and tonight we're going to be doing some laser engraving and going over a few things that we've done in the past. First and foremost, great hyperdrive show tonight by George and Ralph and Frankie and Flex. So be sure to tune into those guys on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, normally there's a Spice Runners lounge, but tomorrow night they are doing a bye week, so I might be streaming tomorrow night as well. So be sure to tune in for that. Sundays, make sure to check out Rogue 5 Cantina at 9 p.m. Eastern. So first things first, got a new shirt here from Utini Designs Swag and Merch Shop. I'm here for the Mon Calamari, so that's pretty cool. If you want to pick one of those up or any of the other merch that I design, check out the link right here, and I will also put the link in the description. Hey, Robert, glad you can make it. Hey, Ken, good to see you, buddy. So let's see. We also have, let's take this off, couple of new items. This shirt is on the store, and also, let me open it up the right way here. We got this new desk mat. So that is the new desk mat, and it looks pretty cool. It's a 3D render of some Stormtrooper helmets that I did and placed in the 10 of 5 hallway, and turned out pretty good for a big desk mat. So be sure to check that out, and you can get that on the merch store as well. So let me roll this back up here, and we will get into couple other things. Also remember, once we hit 200 subscribers, we will be giving this away. This is a commemorative tin with the Cantina band in it. So once we reach 200 subscribers, I will be giving this away. So you get 5 3.75 inch figures, and this is sealed, never been opened. So for tonight's deal, if you recall, the last stream we were playing with some designs on business cards to see how they turned out. So we had this Beskar looking design, and I wasn't real happy with it because I wanted there to be more black and not as much white. And same with this design, I wanted the scrolls to be white and the rest of it black. So even though we couldn't get that done on the stream, what I did do is I played around with it some more after the stream and was able to get exactly what I was looking for. So there's the Beskar with only the white lines, and as a comparison you can see the difference here. So this one looks a lot better, I think, for a knife blade. And then the scrolls compared to the other scrolls. So this will look a lot better on a knife as well. So glad I was finally able to get those settings dialed in and set up. Thank you, Robert. And so I think that'll look a lot better. A couple other things. Let me pull up this other camera here, and I'll show you a couple other things. All right. So in the 3D printing world this week, I did a dragon skeleton. May have to turn down that light a little bit so it doesn't blow it out. Hang on. There. Let's see if that works better. So this is a little dragon skeleton. It's pretty detailed. If I can get the camera to focus. Maybe it's focusing on these. There we go. So you have the small skeleton flexi, and I thought, well, why not make a big one too? So there is the big dragon skeleton in comparison to the small one. So printed those out this week. They turned out really nice. These can be found on Maker World, I believe, if I recall correctly. And they are free, so you can download those and print those if you have a 3D printer. So we'll get these out of the way. The other thing is, since the Alien movie came out, why not have a little chest burster? So here's a little chest burster. Again, pretty detailed for the most part. See if I can get this to capture. Let me get my piece of paper. Sometimes a piece of paper helps. So he's pretty detailed in the head area, and then the body is just your normal flexi style. And again, like the dragon, I thought, well, that's a small one. What about a big one? So I printed a bigger one. So we got the small one here, and then we got the big one. So pretty cool little things. So I was pretty happy with how those turned out. And these were all printed on the Bamboo X1C carbon with AMS, but obviously I did not use any colors other than white for the skeletons and these simple little flexies. These files can also be found on Maker World, on Bamboo's Maker World, I believe. So now we're going to get to some laser stuff, and I should mention that I am going to be using a what's called a laser jig tonight. And what a jig is it's basically a wood carved out area or a 3D printed area that you're able to drop objects in order to make sure that you can laser them and whatnot. Hey, Scott, you just missed me showing some 3D prints here. Let me grab them here real quick. So I did a flexi dragon skeleton in a small size and a large size. And then I did the Alien, since the new movie came out and I went and saw it, I did the Alien flexi, small size and large size. So those turned out pretty good for what they are. So back to the jig on the laser, you can 3D print jigs, and granted, I could design some and 3D print them, but there's a guy that's been doing it for quite a while, and his name's Sam, and he runs SamCraft shop. So if you ever need jigs for laser engraving or anything like that, especially for the XTool series of laser engravers, for the F1, the F1 Ultra, like what I use, He makes these, and they are really good. So I will link his website there in the chat, as well as on the screen. And you can go there and you can see all the different jigs that he makes. And what the jigs allow you to do is do multiple items all at once, without having to manually line everything up. So it just makes lasering a little bit quicker. So let me grab my camera here and get back to me. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and bump this light up here in just a minute. But so one of the things that that I was able to produce, and I guess I shouldn't have switched the camera quite just yet. So here is an item that I laser engraved, a little black anodized dog tag, and that is a Mandalorian. And then on the back, I have the Creed from the Mandalorian. So it's a double-sided laser engrave. I had to do each side separately, obviously. But just a cool little dog tag. And then that got me thinking, well, these might make pretty good little gifts, or, you know, possibly even something for a yard sale I got coming up. So Batman is obviously a big hit. So there is, come on, focus. There's the Joker. And then on the back, why so serious? Why so serious? So that was a bad impression, but it is what it is. So we're going to be doing a couple more of those tonight. And I thought they turned out pretty good. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight, is we're going to be making some, we're going to be laser engraving some anodized black dog tags. So let me switch you over to my screen here. And let's switch this over to my laser. So there you should be able to see my laser and then my screen capture. So this is, you can see the jig that I have set up here. Now I haven't filled it completely out, but each one of those squares you can put a dog tag in. And so you can fit quite a few. You can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 4, you can fit 24 dog tags and laser them all at once if you're so inclined. So thank you, Scott. Thank you, Robert. Pat, appreciate it. So right now I just have 4 in here, and the designs I have is, as some of you know, I have a Frenchie dog. So on these designs here, I have put a couple of images of Frenchies. And my settings that I'm going to use for these are 200 dot duration, power range is 10 to 30%, and 700 DPI with grayscale for the photos. And for the vector, it's also, or I'm sorry, yeah, that one's for the vector, it's also going to be 50 on the fiber, because these are all going to be fiber. For the laser engraving. So I'm going to use the fiber IR for all of them. And this one is a little bit different than the photos. This one's a vector image. And so I'm doing it at 50% power, 850 milliseconds or millimeters per second, sorry, 2 passes and 300 lines per centimeter. And I think that'll turn out pretty good. And on these, I'm just going to do 1 pass. So I've already got everything framing. That's the nice thing about this jig is I can literally just drop these in, and I don't have to do much framing, because once you set up your focal distance, what you do when you put in the jig, you put in 1 dog tag and you focus to 1 dog tag, and then all the other tags, 24 on this plate, will all be in focus. So that makes it really nice, quick, and easy. So what I'm going to do is make sure I have all these on output, which I do. You can see the output right over here in the right-hand side. And make sure this one's on output, and it is. So I'm going to go to process. And then I will step into the other room, and we will watch this thing go once I make sure it's prepared. So I always zoom in to make sure the image kind of matches what I'm looking for. Looks like it's going to take about 22 minutes to engrave all these. So we'll do these, and then we'll do another round and maybe even a 3rd round. So let me go ahead and switch over to your camera here. Bear with me for a second. So we'll remove this. Now we're looking at the laser. And I will come back over here and I will hit start. That's going to send the file to the laser. And let me go wake up the laser, and let me switch over my audio so you can hear me while I'm in the other room. So hopefully y'all can still hear me. And now the laser has woken up. You can see the light come on, and everything should be set to go. What I am going to do is I am going to check the framing before we do this. And it looks like the measurement's still there. Everything looks good. So we are going to start this. Now, what XTool does is when you hit start, what we're going to do is actually go into the other room and press the physical button on the laser. Hey, Frankie, glad you could make it, buddy. We are working on some dog tags, and I just showed some that I did, but I'm going to do these real quick, and I'll come back and show you these other dog tags that I've done, and we're going to do some more tonight. We're going to do some pretty cool ones, so stick around. So I'm going to hit start on this, and then I'm going to go in the other room, and we're going to get this thing going. So let me make sure my camera's still good. Yep. All right. So we should be all lined up, and I'm just going to press go, and we're going to see what happens. Maybe nothing. I don't know. Something, hopefully. I think I had this issue the other night where I left the laser sit too long, and it is awake, but it is not awake. Okay, I can see it running. Just barely. Let me put on my protective goggles, and we'll raise this shield up. So the laser is firing. I can see little dots. lower this back down. It may just not have gotten to the meat of the situation yet. So we're going to let it go for a minute or two. Even though it seems like it's not doing anything, I do see the laser beam hitting the anodized dog tag. In a worst case scenario, we'll just start it over. So let's give it another minute or so, and then we'll reassess. And I can't see the chat at the moment, so if you're asking questions or anything, I can't see that. All right. I think what we're going to do is cancel this, and we're going to try it again. So bear with me for a second here. Let's cancel it. Let's make sure we are connected. Let's disconnect. Let's see, we're at 3.4. Yep, let's disconnect. Let's reconnect. Let's refresh. Okay, all that's still good. All right, we're going to make this, just in case the laser was not firing at 10%, we're going to bump this to 11. Oop. Bear with me here. All right. So that should all be good. That should all be good. Let's refresh. And let's refocus this laser. So what I'm going to do is, you'll see me go into the laser. I'm going to refocus it just to make sure we have the correct focus. So with these jigs, you literally just take out one of these thumb screws, as I drop it on the floor, and you see that red light. So we're going to move this right about here. We're going to go back in the other room. We're going to hit focus, and that should be 3.4 millimeters. So we're going to go on the software over here, hit refocus. 3.4, 3.5. 1 millimeter is not going to make a difference. So we go back into the other room. We know that this is now focused to the jig. We're going to tighten this back down. And that's the nice thing about these jigs is now all four are in the correct position. So we'll go back to our software, hit refresh. Everything should be good. We'll go to process. We will go to start, and hopefully we will see the laser. Yeah, we will wait and see what kind of difference it makes, Scott, for sure. I mean, the jigs are pretty straightforward. So, all right, everything should be ready. Now let's see what happens. And for whatever reason, it's still not firing. Or maybe it is. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I think it is firing, but we can check that. So I'm going to cancel that job, and I'm just going to do the vector graphic because it's the photos that's running through first. So, see, you jinx me, Scott. That's going to be my next deal if this doesn't work. So we're going to turn these outputs off. And then we're going to go to process. And then we're going to start. Oh, it's no problem, man. I mean, this stuff happens. This is part of it. This is not edited, straight up, what happens with a machine. All right, so now we got something to happen in here. So it is working on the vector. So the laser is firing. And here comes the second pass. Now what this second pass does is it should make the engraving brighter when using a vector graphic. So it did make it brighter. So, all right, we know that that one's good. So let's take a look at what the issue is with the others. So we can turn this one off because we don't want to laser it again. Let's go to black aluminum dog tag, fiber IR. Let's go to 12 to 30%. Grayscale. Let's see if 12% does it. And this one here. 12%. Grayscale, one pass. Go to process. Should have 3 images pop up on my little screen, which I do. Hit start, and let's see what happens now. I swear I had all this working before I hopped on live. That is very interesting. I wonder if it's because I'm trying to do all 3 at the same time. Because it's certainly not liking that setting for whatever reason. Which is weird because it worked on the others. So let me just cancel this again. We're going to try one tag at a time, even though that's not the point of the jig. It's not the jig's fault. It's the communication between the software and the laser, which, believe it or not, I have not had an issue with up until this point. So let's turn this one off. Let's turn this one off. Let's just try one and see what happens. So process, start. Does not like something. So what I'm going to do, I think, is probably turn the machine off, wait a couple seconds, turn it back on, refocus, and try again. Because for whatever reason, that should be having no issue. And it didn't have an issue with the vector graphic, it was only the rasters. Yeah, you should have been able to see an image by now. Because it's saying it only has 2 minutes left. And I don't see the laser hitting that thing at all. So we're going to pause it. We're going to flip off the machine. We're going to flip the machine back on. And we're going to troubleshoot this because I would like to actually laser stuff live tonight. All right, so we are going to make sure that's off, that's off. We're going to save that. We're going to close these others down. Yes. Discard. Yes. And we're going to close down creative space. We're going to open it back up just to cover our bases. We're going to go to dog tag Frenchie. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. In a perfect world, it would be a lot easier. All right, we're going to make sure we are connected. We are connected. We're going to refresh. And let me go to my layers, make sure my outputs are correct. So output, output, output. We're doing black aluminum dog tags. All those are on output. Let me focus it one more time. Lots of running back and forth. I'm getting my exercise in tonight. I'm going to get 10,000 steps by the time we're done. All right. Once again, we want to make sure this thing is focused. So I'm going to go this direction this time. And we're going to focus it. Still focusing at 3.5. Okay, we are locked down. Fingers crossed. We're going to refresh our camera. Go to process. And if these don't work, then we'll move on to the other tags. Maybe we'll have better luck with them. All right, laser says it's ready. And I'm still not seeing anything. That is very, very interesting. And I'm not exactly sure what would cause that. So, we're going to pause it again. This time I'm just going to try one dog and see if we can get one more to work. The only thing I can think of but I've restarted the program, so that doesn't make much sense. So we're going to do anodized aluminum. We're going to do dog tag, fiber IR, grayscale. That's what I want. Output. Turn that off. Turn that off. Let's see if we can get one to go. because it's showing it in there. You can see me zoom down here on the well, you can't see it on my screen, but if this doesn't work, we'll try a different one. That is so friggin' weird. It is not doing anything. Alright. What could that be? Well, tell you what. We're going to take out this tag since it's paused. And we're going to put another one in. And we're going to move on to a different file. Maybe it's the images, because the vector came through fine. So let me switch cameras here. No, the software that's running the laser is actually on a different Mac, and I'm just screen sharing that Mac to this other monitor. So, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. So that is kind of a Frenchy tribal pattern, I guess you could call it. And that was done with the IR laser. So that turned out pretty good. So we got that. So let's go back to, maybe my laser's just camera shy. I mean, it's possible. So we're going to try something different here. We're going to open up a different file. And let's go to this one. And let's give it a refresh. All right, we are good on all that. Good on that, good on that, and good on that. Let's see if it'll process these files. So this is a completely new loaded file. With different images. And we'll see if this works. if the file comes over to the laser. It's really weird that I had all this working. Maybe it doesn't like the screen sharing. Not that it should matter, but maybe that is part of the issue. So let's do that, because you really don't need to see my laser engraving screen. You just want to see the actual laser do its thing. So let's try that and see. So that's the only thing I can honestly think of. So we're going to quit screen sharing. We're going to totally disconnect that. So, again, my apologies. I tested this earlier this afternoon and it worked perfectly. All right. Yep, that's all good. Bear with me here while I double check these settings. Let me make sure my framing's working. Framing is working. Waiting on the file to transfer. All right, I do see something happening. Believe it or not. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but something is definitely lasering. I'm hopeful that once we get into the other areas of the image, you'll be able to see it better. I think I need to add more power to these images, but we're almost to a white part of the image, so maybe that is why. So just bear with me for a second. It actually is lasering. I may just have to up the power more than I originally thought. And that's part of the learning process with lasers that I've found. It's kind of like 3D printing, in the sense that you have to know what settings to use for what images, and you don't really know that until you try to laser it. So each image is its own, I don't want to say problem, but its own adventure, we'll say. So it has certainly been an issue with certain images for me, even though some images are processed with the exact same software. It has really just kind of been a pain in the butt. But we're going to keep on trucking, and we're going to get this thing figured out. So don't you worry. I got nothing but time. It's Friday night. I got nothing but time. So we're going to let that run for a second. And like I said, it's not the jig's fault. SamCraft has made one heck of a good jig. It is just the matter of doing what needs to be done with it, in the sense that I don't think I have enough power going to the actual laser. But it is lasering. I think I just need to up the power. Because it looks like it's almost done with that first tag, and that is definitely not correct. So we'll see what it does on the second tag. There you can see just a little bit showing up on the metal underneath that first tag. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not. Let me raise my safety shield and kind of get you in here. See that? You can see it pulsating. So I wonder if it's just not enough power on the image setting. Which doesn't really make sense, because all the other images were fine. I was really wanting to show you guys some really cool dog tags tonight. So we're just going to up the power on these bad boys, because this is not working. So we're going to up the power. So we were at 10 to 30. Let's go to 30 to 60. 30 to 60. And we're just going to see if we can't get these things to go. Let this load back up. Now I see it happening. So maybe my power was just too low. There you can see it. Success. Hopefully. We'll see how the image comes out. Okay, I'm going to set you guys down. Hopefully this box doesn't fall. Now, I honestly think I went up too high in the power, but we will see what happens. Hopefully you guys are still hanging with me. Sorry about that. We are lasering. Not sure why that image took or needed more power, but it certainly did. I appreciate you hanging with me, Pats fan. Sorry, man. But we are lasering. So basically what I did is my power settings were 10 to 30 on the power. So I went to 30 to 60 on the power. So basically I doubled the power. So hopefully that that solves our issue. And we will compare the images. So see, it wasn't a screen sharing thing. It was definitely I was not putting enough power to the image, which again is extremely strange. But hey, that's part of learning. So, while that's loading up, I'm going to load up some others. And we're going to increase the power to those. Except I'm going to go just a little bit lighter. I'm going to go 20 to 50 on those. 20 to 50. 20 to 50. So again, my sincere apologies. We are going to get this going though. That I guarantee you. All right, so the first tag is nearly done. And I think with this virtual camera, I think, whoop, what happened? Bear with me for a second here while I realign my screen. Yeah, we definitely need more power, Pats fan, that's for sure. But it's working. You can actually see it lasering now, so that's a positive. I appreciate y'all sticking around. So we are, in fact, lasering. After a few minute hiatus there for technical difficulties. It makes me wonder, though, why it did that. I'm not sure why. But it is what it is. Because as I said, I tested these and it worked without an issue. And I know it's because I'm live, but I did that because you have people watching. It ruins the magic, and it knows that. Yep, exactly, Scott. That's what it is. I have people watching, and they're like, "This guy doesn't know what the f he's doing." Well, I do sometimes. I like to think I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know. It's all a learning process. This is part of it. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't make mega bucks from YouTube. Um, I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. but I'm trying. Yeah, the detail is really nice, Frankie. Um, on these tags, I mean, it's pretty cool. Um, and I think these will do pretty well at the yard sale. Um, you know, I mean, I'm doing several of the most popular entities out there. So if I can make a couple bucks on them, great. But worst case scenario, I give them away as gifts. So, it is what it is. Um, so it looks like the second tag is almost done. Unfortunately, I cannot pull them out until they're all done because you do not want to stick your hand in a working laser. There is a thing called irradiation skin poisoning from lasers. And of course, if lasers are powerful enough to cut metal, imagine what it'll do to your skin. Um, so yeah, you do not want to stick your hand in there while the laser is running. Yeah, quick tattoo. Yeah, quick tattoo, and it'll probably go all the way through your hand, more likely, because these are 20-watt lasers. So I don't want to test that out. I have seen people laser hot dogs. Believe it or not, they will engrave a hot dog. So I do know that it is possible, but I would not want to put my fingers or anything like that in there. Like I said, I mean, these things are pretty powerful, and I even have to wear these amazing Stevie Wonder glasses while I'm watching the laser. Now, the laser's not in this room. It's just easier for me to keep on because every time I take them off, it takes my other glasses off, and it's a pain in the butt. And I can't let my dog in the room while I laser either because it'll hurt his eyes. So here I am. But so yeah, I would not want my hot dog engraved. Yeah, exactly. So let me put this back on. You don't want to see me, you want to see the laser. So now we're starting the third one. And hopefully once I grab these out, they will all look like the images that I remember putting in there. That's the one thing that you don't have to worry about with 3D printing, is reversing the image. Where with lasers, if you're lasering something white on black, on the software, black is going to be white, white is going to be black. So you have to invert the image. And believe it or not, depending on what color you're engraving on, it's not just black. You may have to invert the image on a darker color. And sometimes the image looks better not inverted on a darker color. So you're constantly playing with settings, and that's why in the 3D printing world, you print something, you see it on screen, you color it, you press print. 99.9% of the time, when you press print, unless there's a print failure, you're going to get what you thought you were going to get. With lasers, what I've found is that's true, but for about 65% of the time. So you really need to have extra material to test on. And I'll give you an example. I did a dog memorial on I think it was a 9 by 8-inch piece of slate. And before I did that big piece of slate, I did some slate coasters with the same image I was going to put on the big piece of slate. I went through 14 different slate coasters in order to get to the image settings that I was happy with, that I wanted on the final piece. Now, thankfully, slate you can sand down and reuse. So that's exactly what I did. I took all those 14 test pieces and I took them down to the garage and I sanded them down, and now I can reuse them. That's not the case with metal. With metal, you get one shot. Um, Unless you have a powder coating station in your garage, and then you might be able to redo it, or some type of anodization um, type station where you can re-anodize metal. Then you can do it. But most people don't have that in their garage. So when you ruin something like metal or wood um, that you can't necessarily sand down, which obviously wood you can, but you may be taking away properties of that wood that you didn't want to take away. So, long story short, have extras when you laser. Um, I mean, I don't know, 500 of these black dog tags. So if I mess some up, big deal. Um, but if I'm doing a cutting board, like I was recently doing a cutting board for realtor company, I guess, and they had 6 large cutting boards, and these cutting boards were $50 a pop. So I went to Belk and picked up some cheap small cutting boards that were roughly the same style of wood and did my test on those so I didn't ruin one of their big cutting boards. Came out amazing on their cutting boards. They were so happy with them. Um, and they're going to give those to the owners of the new homes that they've sold that are, well in the 1.2 to 1.5 million dollar homes. So that's pretty cool. But I did have to test. And like tonight, you saw I had done several tags. I had shown you what the tags look like. And then I go to burn them and nothing happens. And it was simply a power issue. Um, Now that I've got this new power going here and it looks good, I could probably start dialing back the power of the laser to get a little bit different effect. Maybe these are too bright or too washed out. We'll take a look at them as soon as this is done. And if that's the case, then you dial back the power a little bit. Um, on these, I was at 10 to 30. Now I'm at 30 to 60. So I basically doubled the power I was at. So I could cut that in half. I could go 20 to 40 and see if that makes a better image or not. And it's just something that you test on. So, it's just part of it. Um, I'm going to save this file while I'm talking, and I'm going to call it 30 to 60 if my little save thing will work. Huh. Well, here we go. Save as 3060. So this is almost done. And on these next ones, I'm going to try 20 to 50 and see what the results are on this next batch that we're going to do. Since this is almost done. And Frankie, I think you'll really enjoy this next batch coming up. So stay tuned. Janine would probably be going crazy over these, but Frankie's going to like the next ones. But no, I'm very happy with the laser. I'm very happy with the 3D printer. I would love to get the P2 laser, which is what Brett has, and it is a big laser. So you're able to cut 22 inches wide by 118 inches long. So it's a sizable difference in this laser than this laser. This laser will do 8 by 8, 8 inches by 8 inches, or 8 inches tall by 19 inches long. So huge difference. Um, the big laser is also a CO2 laser, so it will cut through 2 inches of um, wood, basically. Um, it'll cut through an inch and a half thick acrylic, clear acrylic. This laser will not do clear acrylic. Um, it'll do uh, opaque acrylic you can't see through, but it will only do up to 3 millimeters thick. So that's eighth of an inch, 16th of an inch. So pretty thin, but it still does it. But my hope is that I can get enough work that I can not only pay off this laser, but invest in a bigger one, and then I'll be able to do bigger projects. So signs and all sorts of cool stuff, big cutting boards, um, acrylic stands, so lightsaber stands, blaster stands, stands for the Galaxy Squadron, type stuff. Um, that's my ultimate goal, but to get there, I have to slave in the trenches for a little while, like any normal person. All right, we are almost finished with this last one. Then I'll load up 4 more, and then we'll get on to Frankie's favorite. Can you guess what it is, Frankie? If you're still watching. Anything other than Boba Fett is a mess. I wouldn't say that. Keep guessing. Besides, I already showed you a Boba Fett. Don't you remember? Let's see here. Let me switch cameras again so I can revitalize your memory. Oh, let me get this other tag out of here so it doesn't focus on that. Come on, camera. There we go. So see, that turned out pretty good. Oh, you were making dinner. See. Oh, if it's Acolyte, you're unsubscribing. It's definitely not Acolyte. Definitely not. But that brings up a good point. I hope that you guys share this and tell people about it and get others to subscribe, because once we reach 200 subscribers, I am doing a giveaway. So I think we're at 75 or 76 subscribers now. So we got a ways to go. But as you know, a lot of you guys know people. So, hey, one of y'all could send 600 people my way. I have no idea. That'd be really cool if you did. But I don't expect it. But once we reach 200 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway. So that'll be cool. So this thing is almost complete. I'm going to load up 4 more tags, and we're going to keep on trucking along. So bear with me for just a moment here as my Frenchie dog is Supermaned on the floor. If you don't know anything about Frenchies, you know they love to Superman with their front paws out and their rear paws back. So now, since I use the fiber, these should not be hot. If I use the blue light diode laser, they would be warm. So let me pop these out of here, and we will get 4 more loaded up. Now what's nice is I already have this set up to where it's focused. So the only thing I have to do is load up the file and press go. I don't have to refocus. I don't have to reframe. That's one of the beautiful things about a jig. So let me grab these here. I'll give them a quick wipe off. And we will get the other ones loaded and going. Now, because this is etching metal, I do have my exhaust fan going, so it is exhausting out any metal particulates that the fan's sucking up. And man, these things turned out pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Yeah. Just taking a quick look at them here, making sure I got all the metal dust off. All right. See, this is the exciting part because now I'm happy. So we got these loaded up. All I have to do is hit refresh. Make sure I get the picture of my jig, which I do. Make sure my settings are correct. Yep, yep, and yep. Go to process. I'm also 3D printing at the same time. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. So as soon as this file loads up here, I'm pretty sure I pressed start. Let me double check that. One day I will have a room that I can have all my toys in. When I win the lottery. And you won't necessarily know I win the lottery, but there'll be hints. Like, you know, a full-scale Millennium Falcon sitting in the driveway. All right, so that one's going right off the bat. So we will let that run. And in the meantime, I will show you the results of our little experiment here. Of course you heard that. Say hello to my fiance. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. All right, so let's switch this to the other camera so we can show you what we did. So, number 1. Oh, come on, camera. Look at the detail on that. That is cool as fuck. All right, so there's that one. And Batman on Batman. Lots of nice detail in that too. And if you're going to have that, there's Batman and Joker split in half. And Frankie says, hi, Dawana, take over the stream. We have questions. Well, she can't because she's in Myrtle Beach right now. So, yeah, the detail, I mean, is amazing. I really like this. Where's it at? Not that one. The way this Joker came out. Now, this is I believe this is the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Come on, camera. Oh, it's focusing on this. That's what it is. If I can get my camera to focus. Come on. There we go. Look at that. So yeah, those all turned out very good. Let's see. When I get back from the beach, I will see what I can do. See, Frankie, she's going to hook you up. She's going to come on here and just embarrass the hell out of me. Scott says, awesome. I'm not sure if that's to Dawana or to the tags. He says, awesome again. Killer. Yes, I love that Joker. Frankie says yes. Hashtag truth. So yeah, so those turned out really good. I'm really happy with those. And this Frenchie turned out really good too. Get my camera to focus. It's kind of a tribal kind of handkerchief style. What did they call that pattern on handkerchiefs back in the 60s and 70s? I forget now, but that turned out pretty good. So now that I have my settings correct, I could do the other Frenchies once we get that going. So let me go back to the laser here. And Frankie, you can now see part of what is happening here. I know you know who that is. And it's not Boba. So all four of these will be Deadpool. I have four different ones here. And then I will go back to the French Bulldog ones and try to get those going. In the meantime, you can say hi to Finn if I can get him up here. Let me take off these super sexy glasses. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come on. You're not going to get up, are you? Come here. Come here. Oh, God, you're heavy. There he is. There's my little buddy. You got to look at the camera. You got to look right here. There he is. He's like, hello, Facebook. Say hello, Facebook. Yeah, he's not He's pretty camera shy for the most part. All right, let me oh yeah, YouTube, sorry. He's like, get me off of this stream. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I like him. He's my little buddy. Let me get you back to the laser here. Oh, wrong camera. All right, so version 2 or tag 2 is coming up. And these really don't, I mean, they take a little bit of time, but it's really not bad. Um, it's really fun watching them, especially when it does slate and wood and stuff. Um, so with metal, you don't have to really worry about flame or anything like that. So I can have the laser going in the other room and stream in this room, but that's also why I have my walk around mic on, is so I can traverse between the two rooms and still uh, be talking to you guys. Um, Now, when I'm doing wood or anything that's flammable, I absolutely stay in the room with that laser because I have caught wood on fire before. Um, so lasers are not something you leave alone. You don't go drive around and go do your groceries and stuff like that when you have a laser going, which is very different from 3D printing. Once you set that 3D print to go, as long as you have enough filament and as long as there's no failure, that thing will be done when you get back. So I would say there's a very low chance of fire happening with a 3D printer. I'm sure it's possible, but it would be a very, very low chance compared to a class 4 laser. Um, so that's definitely something to keep in mind if you guys are considering a laser or doing anything like that. Um, you have to keep an eye on it. Yeah, well, I haven't caught the house on fire yet, except for that one time with the lightsaber, but we're not going to talk about that. So let me go take a look at this. It is getting a little warm in this room, but not bad. It's 74 degrees in here. Of course, Dewana would think that's freezing, but not sure I like how the second one's turning out. I may need to lower the power a little bit more, but it's not bad. Just a little bit different than what I envisioned when I put the image on there. But it's not bad. It's getting ready to start the third one here in just a second. And then we'll do the little Frenchies, and then I'll probably call it a night. I'm going to go ahead and get my tags ready. I think we had three Frenchies that we had to do. So I'll get those ready. Like I said, if we hadn't ran into those issues, we would have probably already been done already. But thankfully, y'all have hung with me, and I do appreciate it. Hopefully, you're getting something out of it. Finn is laying right in the middle of the floor. Have a good night, Ken. I will probably, since Spice Runners is not on tomorrow night, I will probably do a live stream and I'll post about it in the Facebook group and see if anybody wants to join and hop on, and we'll just chat or whatnot. Maybe we'll do some 3D printing or laser stuff or something. So appreciate you stopping by. All right, so now we're on to the third one. Then we'll have one more, and then we can go back to the Frenchies. So let's save the Batman and Joker. Let's open up the Frenchies. Yeah, Frankie, if you want to jump on, that's fine. I mean, I'll be on probably 8:30 ish, 9 p.m. somewhere in there, um, just to try to keep it somewhat consistent with what Eben and them do. I mean, obviously, I don't have to, but I'd like to keep it somewhat consistent. So now that we know that the power needs to be upped, I'm going to up this to 20 to 40 on each one of these images for the Frenchie. 20 to 40, and one more time, 20 to 40. Oh, not negative 40. I don't even think you can do negative power. Well, I know you're central, bud. But yeah, I mean, 8 p.m. your time would be 9 p.m. my time. All right, so we got those set up. So we can do the 3 Frenchies right after this is done. And I could probably speed this up a little bit, but the way that these lasers are, if it's doing a good job, don't really mess with it, if that makes sense. You can try to, but more than likely you're going to end up going back to the settings that you liked prior. There really isn't a lot of give and take with them. You're either too powerful on the laser, too fast, too slow, not enough power, like we saw earlier with the first 4 dog tags we tried to do. They didn't look like they were doing anything. So you really just have to kind of play with it. But once you find a setting, save it, write it down, and that way you know that particular image will do the same way every time. At least it should on the same material. Now, if you switch materials, that's a completely different story. So let's add this back to the stage. So these are the images. Come on. There we go. So these are the images we're going to be doing. We've already done this one. We're going to do these 3 once the Deadpool is done. I think I have enough 3D print files. I'm at 1.4 terabytes of compressed files. I have 6 terabytes of STLs. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think I could ever afford to print all of them, even if I wanted to. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you also have to think, Frankie, I have a lot of 3D models just from my 3D modeling over the last 25 years. So a lot of those I can convert to STLs, I can print. A lot of them I can't because they're not watertight. You know, they're non-manifold type models, so they wouldn't print very well. Some of them will, but a lot of them wouldn't, um, just because of the way that they're modeled. They're super thin. They're designed for renders only. So my dog is looking the hell out of my leg. What are you doing? You want back on camera? Mom's watching. Hang on. Let me switch cameras here. Let me brighten this. Let me brighten this up. There we go. Come here. No, you gotta come here. You gotta come here. Right here. You gotta come here. You don't want? No? What are you snorting at? You want to come here? I know. You're not usually allowed in the Star Wars room. Come here. All right. Well, if you don't want me to pick you up, I ain't going to pick you up. He doesn't want to be on. That is an X-Wing. That is the, he obviously misses me tremendously. Yes, that's probably why. Yeah, that is the Force Labs X-Wing that I got from George. And I'm hopefully getting the TIE Advanced when they release it, because it's supposed to have the same base and it'll be a complete scene, similar to my my Hallmark stocking deals that I showed. So, but yeah, that thing's all polystone. It is slightly smaller than studio scale, not quite studio scale, but it's pretty cool. It doesn't light up or anything like that, unfortunately. But for what it is, I mean, I'm very happy with it. These things, they only made 50 of them worldwide, so I feel very lucky to have one of the 50. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I have the Catholic Cardboard X-Wing I'm going to sell. Very cool. Get this camera back here. So let me check on this laser here. Let's see. I should have my other camera up where I could actually see it without having to switch you over, but we're going to switch you back over. So this one's almost done. And then we can pop these out and do the Frenchies. And I don't think we'll do a knife tonight. Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow night. Maybe we'll do a knife engrave tomorrow night. Because I have a design that I showed on the last stream that I was not happy with, but then I tweaked it and was able to get it the way I wanted it. And I think I'm going to do a Beskar pattern on a knife blade. And I happen to have several old knives that are black anodized for the blades. So I think I'll try that and see what happens. I think those will turn out pretty good. And we'll see how it goes. Never done a full knife blade. I've done text on a knife blade, but I've never done a full knife blade before. So that'll be interesting. But technically you can put it on anything. Now that I have this tested on black anodized metal, the settings would be somewhat similar to doing a knife blade, even with one of these images. So, for instance, you could take the top left Deadpool image of his face, and you could put that on the entire blade of a knife, um, something like that. So that's pretty cool. Um, there's so many different things you can do with these lasers. It's kind of overwhelming. And then of course there's certain things that you need a different laser for. So I'm just trying to stick within my wheelhouse for right now and do everything I can do with this laser before I graduate to a bigger one, hopefully soon. This one's almost done. I'm going to hop in the other room so I can offload these and load the other ones up. Let me see if it will let me process this. Good night. Sleep well. Don't party too hard tomorrow since it's Friday. All the party people will be out. But I hope you're having fun down there in Dirty Myrtle. All right, so I'm going to send those files over. Look out, Finn. We're going to load these up and do the Frenchies. All right. So the Frenchie files are loaded. This jig is really, really handy, especially when you're doing multiples like this. So I could do 24 of the same design without even thinking about it once I have it set up and the power settings are correct. So that's what makes it really nice. We're just going to pop this one over here because I think that's where I have it set. No need to refocus or anything. We just hit start. And I'll wipe these off real quick just to get any residue off of them. It's really interesting the way that these are engraving. All right. Let me pull up this other camera here. And we will see the results. So, number one. That one turned out a little bit darker than I would like, but not bad overall. And that's an interesting pattern in the image. This one has a nice look to it. Almost like a comic book, like it's taken right out of the page of a comic. And then you have the final Deadpool one. You can really see that detail of the mask and everything. So yeah, those turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with those. Are there coins that you could make? Absolutely, I have done coins. Let me go grab them. And the coins, I can do either a surface engrave like these dog tags, or I can do what's called a deep boss engrave, where it's actually like a pressed coin almost. Let me see if I can locate where I put them. Let's see here. I may still have them downstairs, but I'm not for sure. Bear with me for a second. Trying to find them, Frankie. I have them here somewhere. I just saw them earlier today because I was moving some stuff around. If for some reason I don't find them here in the next few seconds, then I will make it a point to look for them tomorrow, and we can talk about it on tomorrow night's stream. But I have done several. Of course, the one time somebody asked me about them, I can't find the dang things. Oh, there they are. Well, one of them anyway. Two of them. All right. So while this Frenchie's finishing up, I will come back in here and show you these coins. Oh, I got them. Hang on, let me switch cameras here. Let me get Deadpool out of here so it doesn't focus on that. So, this was the first attempt at a coin. And as you can see, that is deep embossed. It takes about 3 hours to do a coin. This is a brass coin, and it is a 40 millimeter coin. And then I did the back side of it just because I just use this as a test coin. So I did the back side, uh, United States Marine Corps with the EGA in it, and it is deep embossed too. And then the other one I did is this one. So it is also deep embossed, and it is on a brass 40 millimeter coin. So you can see the detail. It's pretty good. These, they don't weigh that much. They're a little bit smaller than the sabak coins that I play sabak with. You can really see the detail in his feathers and the helmet. And of course, you can polish these up. You can put what's called a brass agent on it, and it will age the coins so they're not, shiny or whatnot. Basically, after these were laser engraved, I took my Dremel and took a steel wire Dremel head and polished them. Um, so that's why you see some areas are polished and some aren't. Um, and you could go even further. I mean, you could put some black acrylic paint, in the deep edges, and then wipe off, and then polish certain areas. And you can do the brass aging chemical where you drop these in, and then it ages the brass and all sorts of stuff. So you could definitely do the different coins. I mean, they're about as thick as $half maybe, but I don't think they weigh as much. I mean, it's not bad. So, but yeah, I mean, I can put logos in them. This is what they look like without anything engraved on them. As I drop it and make tons of noise. I mean, that's all they are. And I can get brass, I can get silver, I can get copper, but people say that copper is a pain in the butt to try to engrave. So I usually stick with the brass. I can do stainless steel. Um, I've been asked to do pure silver, but obviously there's a cost involved with that. So I haven't done any pure silver coins or anything. And I can do the coins as big as I can find blanks for. So these are 40 millimeter. I think I found 50 and 60 millimeter and maybe 120 millimeter. Um, so, but 40 millimeter is about the size of, I don't know, maybe a gold dollar, a gold eagle. Um, might be a 50-cent piece, maybe a little bit bigger than a 50-cent piece. So I mean, here's a dog tag next to it to kind of give you an idea. I mean, it's not a small coin, but it's not a huge coin either. I think my sabak coins are, quite a bit bigger. I'd have to go grab some, and I'll do that for tomorrow night's stream. I'll grab some of my sabak metal coins that I purchased. Now those are stamped; those aren't laser engraved. But the idea originally was with this laser is I could do my own sabak coins. Now, obviously, a sabak coin buy-in set's 32 coins times 3 hours, so it'd be almost 100 hours to do a complete buy-in set, roughly. Um, Now, obviously, that's with doing lots of detail on a deep engrave. If I'm just doing a logo or something, I could probably do just the logo in a couple hours, maybe even as less as an hour. So it just kind of depends. But it's pretty quick for the most part on that type of stuff. Let's switch back to our laser cam and see how we're doing. We are almost done with the second image, it looks like. And then there'll be one more. And the other image is fairly small, so it should go pretty quick. And then we will shut this down for the night, I think. At some point, I would like to, at some point I would like to do streaming of the new Star Wars Outlaws game, but I've played it for a little bit and I like it. Um, it feels like Star Wars. I think some of the puzzles are a little difficult. I don't like some of the areas it wants you to go into and then doesn't tell you what to do. Or if you get lost, there's no button to press to give you an idea or a hint of what to do. Um, Whenever I hear sabak, I want someone to say and karak. Sabak karak? Kakirk. Sabak and Kakirk? Is that a Star Trek reference or something? Kakirk. Spock and Captain Kirk. Yeah. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, I have a full set of sabak. I got enough for 16 players. Um, all metal coins. I got 3D printed credits. Um, and I got two play mats and I think 8 decks of different sabak cards. Um, yeah, I can definitely play some sabak. Um, and then I also picked up I forget the name of it now. It's the dice game. Um, you have dice in sabak, but this is only a dice game, and I forget what it's called now. Let me look it up. Uh, Trying to remember it now. I haven't played it very much, um, but it's a pretty cool game. Bear with me for a second here. Let me find it. All right, so I believe it is called Hintero. And you basically have 5 dice, and each dice has a different symbol on it. And if you roll doubles, uh, then there's certain points allotted, and then the dealer rolls a die, and he can cancel out your dies, and there's a little bit to it. So I haven't really gotten into it as much as sabak. I play um, Spike, sabak Spike, or Carillion Spike, as some people call it. I don't play the 64 card sabak where you have to get the 23. I play whoever's closest to 0 in the Carillion Spike version of sabak. Um, it's still fun. Um, I haven't played it in a little while. I used to have nights over here at the house with just people in the community that used to love to play poker, and I'd have them over and we'd play sabak, and we'd have 5 to 6 guys uh, every, once every month, basically, that come over and play sabacc. They don't know anything about Star Wars. They don't care anything about Star Wars. They just want to play cards and hang out and drink beer. So nobody was doing poker. So I was like, well, let's do sabacc. But I haven't done it in a few months. So when it starts to get cold here again and in the fall here in North Carolina, then I'll start doing it again. Because that's when those people just want to get out of the house or whatnot. So, but yeah, in Carillion Spike, you start out. Each person starts out with 2 cards. You have a draw deck and then a discard deck, and you can buy from either deck with the betting rules. And after it's gone around the table once and gotten back to the dealer, you roll 2 spike dice. If it comes up the same symbol, everybody has to toss in their cards and draw new cards off the deck. And then you go to round 2. You do this 3 times. So we've had games where everybody had to turn in their cards every single time. And then at the last hand, what you draw off the draw deck is what you play. And it's a lot of fun. Um, you can really get screwed with the spike dice, or you may have a terrible hand for 2 hands, and then the spike dice get rolled and it comes up doubles and you have to turn in your cards, and you may get a full sabacc just on 2 cards, or at least have a better hand than you had the last 2 rounds. So it's a lot of fun. We don't play for real money. We just play with the fake Star Wars credits or whatnot. But it's fun to watch people bet and how much they bet and everything else. Each player starts out with 1,500 credits. So you have 20 bronze, which are tens. You have 10 gold, which are or 10 silver, which are 50s, and then 4 golds, which are hundreds. And then for fun, I throw in 1 Beskar or a Han and Carbonite chip if I don't have enough Beskars, and those are worth 500. So different. I mean, each it's just like playing poker at somebody's house. Everybody's house has different rules and different betting rules and everything, but it's a lot of fun. So I try to stick with the Outer Rim Sabacc League's rules because they're the ones that kind of do everything. There's a crap ton of cantinas, as they call them in Florida. They have huge leagues down there, and they play for charity. They play for fun. I mean, I've seen videos of 60, 70 people over at somebody's house playing sabacc. So some of them dress up, some of them don't. It's pretty crazy. All right, this guy's almost done, and then we'll take a look. So let me go grab these off. And I will be right back, and we will take a look at these. All right, that one I definitely should have done differently. I don't like how that one came out at all. This one didn't come out bad. That one came out good. So hey, 1 out of a couple isn't bad. Or 2 decent ones out of a couple isn't bad, I guess. These really are coming out different than I originally thought. But I think I just need to edit the image differently because I'm not liking the square around the dog tag or the white on the dog tag. I want the dog tag black with a white etching in it. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the laser down, turn off my exhaust fan, and we're going to go ahead and kill this camera. I don't need my super sexy laser glasses anymore. All right. So let's kill that camera. And I'm not extremely happy with this one, but it's not bad. I need to inverse it to where the white does not engrave. What is my camera focusing on? Here we go. But I need to reverse it. Didn't turn out bad though. Same with this one. It's okay, but the white didn't go all the way to the top. Where's my camera focusing on? There we go. Now, I don't like the graininess of it. The lines look okay. I think I just need to edit the image to where it's just the dog and for it to have the black background. But again, not bad. And sometimes you don't know how it's going to turn out until you laser it. So this one I think is my favorite out of the Frenchies. But again, I think I would inverse it to where the dog tag is still black instead of the dog being black. But I would just have to test it and try it. So I may do that tomorrow while I'm doing a 3D print or something and just see if I can get it. See if it even looks decent the other way. It may not. Hey, Robert. So it didn't turn out too bad. So I'm glad we finally got everything going. So again, there's Deadpool. This Deadpool came out really good. It's kind of a comic style Deadpool. And then that one came out pretty decent. I'm not sure about the pattern in the background. I may have to do some adjusting on that too. Then we have the Batman and half Batman, half Joker. The Screaming Batman. The detail in that is just friggin' crazy. You can see the rain and everything. The Joker. Baby Pool. Or Chibli Pool, however you want to I think that's more of a Chibli. That's not baby pool. That's one of those Chibli pools. Chibli characters. And there's another Batman. But see, I need to see if I can reverse it because originally I thought I reversed it. I thought I had it set up to where the dog tag would remain black and the engraving would be white. Oh, dang, it's focusing on these coins. Move those out of the way. So that's what I originally thought I had it set up for. But apparently the computer thought it something else different. Because what I originally was wanting, see how this is not all white? This camera. There we go. And it's the same with this Mando. That's how I wanted it to kind of engrave, where it had a black background and just the image was popping out. You know, kind of like the back. Now this is easier to do because this is not a photo. This is an actual vector graphic that I created. So this was easier to make that happen with. But these are all raster images. They're all photos or graphics or whatever you want to call them. So they're going to have some background unless I do some editing to them. So overall, not bad. I'm pretty happy with the results for the most part. I think I'm going to try to tweak some and just see what I can get. But so yeah, we got several dog tags here. Just kind of pull them all out. Get this one over here. That one. That one. That one. So yeah, not bad. It only took 2 hours and 19 minutes, but hey, now I know that if it doesn't look like it's going to laser, just up the power. So yeah, not bad. Now, curious, what would you pay for a laser engraved dog tag like this? I'm thinking $5, maybe $6, 2 for 10, something like that. And yes, they will come with the chains. Now, some of them are, double engraved, like this Joker. So you have the front and the back. But even the front ones, even just the front ones, because some of them won't lend themselves to a front and a back. But wow, $9.99 each. Robert's got deep pockets. Really? $10. So that's for a single side or for a double side? Or should it just be one price across the board? Doesn't matter if it's double sided or not. Double sided, okay. So for single-sided, you're thinking $6 each, $5 each, cut it in half basically, $5 per side. And I can put any image I want on here. I could put a picture of, you know, a dad and a daughter, wife and a husband, or the family pet. Uh, you know, however it turns out and goes, I can do it. Bear with me for a second. I'm trying to get my mouse to work here. It disappeared on me. All right. So we can stop sharing my screen. All right. Double needs to be more. That's more wear and tear on your machine. Time setting up. Yep, I agree. So you could do singles $6 a piece or 2 for $10, or you could do doubles $10 a piece, or well, 2 for $20, obviously. But you can have the names of the people that are pets on the back. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can do either or. Um, I think that's the beauty of it is a lot of these that I tested tonight, with the exception of this one, this was a vector graphic. So this is a graphic that's done in Illustrator, so you can't really count that. But the rest of these are all images that are either grabbed from the internet, AI created, or ones that I already had, and they're all raster images. So what's the price to make one? I guess it depends on your material. These I buy in bulk, so I want to say it's like maybe 50 cents a piece. Maybe let's call it $1 for the dog tag and the chain. So, you know, at $6 you're making $5 a piece profit. At $10 you're making, you know, $8 a piece profit, basically $9 a piece profit. So not bad. Um, I mean, I've seen them sell at other sales, like trade shows and stuff. Some people are charging $20 for them. I personally wouldn't pay that much for one, but you know, I guess if there was something on it that I really liked, I might, but $20 seems too much to me. I was thinking more of 6 for 1, 10 for, you know, or 2 for 10 for single sided, and for double sided, you know, like this one that has the Joker and then Why So Serious, that would be $10 because you're doing both sides. You know, same with the Mando. That and that, $10 all day. I think that's a fair price for a single side. $6 probably. You can go to pet shops and say, hey, you can put pics of pets on dog tags and see if you could like wholesale to them. You could, yeah. Um, or vet clinics. You could say, hey, you know, set up a little photo booth and have a day where you take, where everybody brings in their pets, and for, uh, you know, whatever you can work out. But you could even work it out with a deal like, you could say, hey, go to your local vet and say, come in for a nail trim and a personalized uh, dog tag with a picture of your dog on it, or your dog's information or whatever. And I could be right there, that day with the laser, and set it up. I don't know if I'd do pictures, just because we've seen, some pictures are going to come out good, some of them aren't. But maybe more of, what's your dog's name? What's your phone number? What's your address? Laser that on a dog tag, slap it on a dog collar, and the vet partners with me, and they get the nail trim out of it, and I get a couple dollars for my, you know, time and dog tags and everything. So yeah, I mean, there's several ways that you could do it. Um, it's just getting people to say yes to stuff like that, because you can't be lasering around the animals, just because they don't have protective glasses. And yeah, I could put the shield down and all that, but there's still a chance of laser light escaping and, all that. So I would have to be in a different place. But what I could also do is take down their information, have examples of the dog tags, and they could pick, I want this dog tag, this is my information, and I could have it to them within 24 hours, laser it off site, take all the dog tags back into the vet the next day, and say, here they are, call these people in or whatever. So that, yeah, there's different ways. The one thing I'd really like to do is a fireman's axe. I'm getting ready to laser a knife blade, hopefully tomorrow night. And I've already done a knife blade that I've shown that has text on it, and I've done the handle that I've shown. But I want to do a full axe head, and then go to fire stations and offer those as retirement gifts, as something for fallen firefighters, that sort of thing. And because it's not just about the money, um, even though I am trying to pay off my laser and get a bigger laser, but to be able to offer something like that to the local firefighters, um, as a retirement gift or something else. Let's say, I don't know, they could probably give me a fireman's axe, so there wouldn't even be any cost for the material on their end, because they could probably give me 20 of those stupid things for nothing. Um, and I would just charge for the laser time and whatever custom graphics they needed. But let's say $200 for a custom engraved fireman's axe, you know, something like that, I think would work. But, I would also maybe do something for auctions. Um, maybe they buy several for retirement, and then they're like, hey, we want to auction something off. I could custom engrave, something like that. So there's different options there. But anyway, I'm going to shut this down for the night. Good night, Frankie. See you tomorrow night. Um, so, I think there's lots of opportunities out there. It's just about doing it. And and getting paid for it. So, because I got to pay the laser somehow. So, thank you all very much for joining in. Sorry again for the troubles early on. Now we know that if for whatever reason it doesn't look like it's lasering, then up the power a little bit. So, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you all tuning in. And tomorrow night I will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, and I will post a link. And if anybody wants to join on and hop on and shoot the breeze, then let's do it. So, thank you again. And until next time, may the force be with you.
Utini!